All right, testing. Audio testing, please someone in chat tell me if it's good. Because I am good, and we're ready for the race. Testing, audio testing. Alright everybody, welcome! Finally, after some delay on the stream start due to technical difficulties, almost a half an hour's delay in fact, we are finally ready for Breakout Racing League Xbox Realistic Tier. Round 8 today at the Red Bull Ring is underway. Let's take a look at BRL Neymar real quick in the Alpha Tauri machine. And as you can see, we're already at the start of Q2. Keep in mind, Realistic Tier uses a realistic full qualifying format. So an 18-minute Q1 session to begin with, where the bottom 5 are eliminated, and it looks like that's already happened here. I'm going to get an update soon from the coordinator about who's been eliminated, because I haven't been in the lobby that long because of the aforementioned difficulties. But here we are in Q2 right now, a 15-minute long session. Ooh, this BRL Neymar runs very wide and spins on the exit at the final corner, and ooh, I think that was the Renault of Hikatra, who, by the skin of her teeth, was just able to avoid that. That must have been quite the fright. BRL, Ardell, and Katra both setting lap times already. The two Renault cars, currently the 6th fastest car in the game, setting a 104.235 and 105.9. Not bad at all from them. Who's going to be the next cross the line? One of the Williams cars, DTM Stenner it looks like. Yep, that is the one. Jonesy1140 in chat says, can't see anything, just the starting soon screen. Okay, that's a problem. Alright, is it better now? I just switched one of the overlays. Lightstream seems to be a bit finicky right now. Alright, yeah, let me know about that. TTM Stenner invalidating his lap time, so unfortunately, he is not going to be on the board just yet. ARS Goudidou in the Mercedes coming up to the line, but he's starting a lap. Let's see, who's going to be next? I think it's going to be Ed Torogna in the Ferrari. Yes, it is. The mean red Italian stallion coming into turn number 9. I'll find one of these guys soon so we can do a bit of an onboard lap, a tour of the Red Bull Ring, although I'm sure most of you are familiar with this track. It is quite famous and quite well known. Fern on the medium compound of tire, which I'll talk about in a moment. About to finish a lap. The shortest lap times here of any circuit on the F1 calendar, on average, well under a minute and 10 seconds during the race. As Meadfern puts in a 108.329 in the Mercedes. The Mercedes is the fastest car in the game, of course, but it is a slower tire that he's got on in the medium, so that is to be expected. But it looks like he might have made a mistake. That is quite a slow time either way. Let's see, I believe Joe F1 in the McLaren machine is about to start a lap. McLaren currently 5th fastest in the game, if I remember correctly. No, 4th. Going through turn 1, 4th gear corner, pretty high speed, and you have to really take your chances on the exit, but you can't track extend, and it seems that Joe has fallen afoul of it already, so unfortunately we won't be able to get our tour of the circuit from him, but I'm guessing he'll try to regroup and go again. Austria, a pretty low tire wear track, so you can get away with doing multiple consecutive laps here in qualifying. But yeah, I mentioned earlier that Meadfern is on the medium compound of tires, and there is a reason for that. So the softs, the red wall tires that most people will use in qualifying, they have much more pace over a single lap when they're fresh. Which is why they're used in qualifying, because that's all about one lap pace. But here's the thing. The medium tires, they will last longer, especially during the race. Jonesy's saying, yeah, it's fixed. Excellent. Okay, no more technical issues today. I'm done with that. As the times start rolling in here, the medium tires, they're not as good in terms of qualifying pace, but here's the thing. We'll be going into the Q3 session after this, which is 12 minutes long, and but this is Q2, and everybody who starts in the top 10 or makes it into Q3 will have to start on the exact same set of tires that they use to set their fastest lap in Q2. So if you set your fastest lap in Q2 on mediums and make it into Q3, you will be able to start on the medium compounded tires, which is a huge advantage because most people in the top 10 will be starting on softs. So you on the mediums will be able to go farther into the race than you otherwise would be able to. It gives you much more strategic freedom. That's not quite as important, though, at a track like Austria. Oh, Meadford spins off the penultimate corner, almost, as his teammate ARS Gududu goes to the top of the leaderboard with a 1:03.9 on the mediums, no less. Showing great pace today. Vojay 26 in the Racing Point car, about to start a lap, so we'll ride on board with him for our tour of the Red Bull Ring. He's on the soft tires, so it seems like even though the Racing Point is a very fast car in this game, he's not worried too much about going long into the first stint. Going down the first big straightaway here through turn 2 up to turn 3. Big DRS zone, big overtaking opportunity into the heavy braking zone at turn 3. Very hard to get this corner right on the exit. Second gear corner. And as you can see, a little bit of a tank slapper there for Vojay. He navigated it pretty well, but still room for improvement. Purple sector 1 already. Into the middle sector now, off of the second DRS zone on the track. Into turn number 4 now. Medium speed corner. Downhill, so you are carrying more speed than you might think through there. And now into the really fast section. Lauda corner, turn 7. Or 6, sorry. This is turn 7. Two very flowy downhill left-handers there. Plenty of elevation change on this track. It really is an excellent circuit to be at. Penultimate corner, almost flat out, but not quite. Down to 7th gear normally. And then the Rindt corner, turn 10. Named after the famous Austrian driver Jochen Rindt. Another 4th gear corner. Be careful not to slide off on the exit. And Vojay has done a really good lap there. 103.626. Not bad at all. Taylor Clan in the Red Bull, meanwhile, rolled in a lap while Vojay was on his, and that's a 103.435. So that will be P1 for right now. Of course, pole position is not decided in Q2. We'll have to wait until Q3 to find out who gets that. But still an excellent lap nonetheless. And his teammate Ritzy Raccoon in the Red Bull, the two Red Bulls have had quite the rivalry so far this season. He comes in third fastest with 103.698 as he comes into the pit lane now. One of the McLarens is coming across the line. I believe it's... no, Skeppy just finished his lap. He's currently 7th. Joe F1 in the McLaren, again regrouping for another lap. Last time he invalidated because he track extended off of turn 1. Not this time. Not this time. Let's see how he gets on this particular lap. Into turn number 3. Very smooth, bit of a lock up, but very good line through the corner. Stable, no real oversteer on the exit, which is a really big important thing that affects your run down the second straight and therefore your ability to overtake. Into turn 4 now. Again, pretty smooth, bit of a lock up on the right front, but carrying speed well. You can see he's pushing the car. Now into turn 6, using as much curb as possible on entry. And as much as possible on exit as well. Back in tight for turn 7, and then the quick switch back of 8. Turn 8 is really difficult in the wet, but it's barely noticeable in the dry, as we are now. And through turn 9, very smooth, going down to 6th gear because of the McLaren's performance limitations. Oh, and he spins! That would have been a very nasty accident were it not for the reset to track feature that the game sometimes uses to keep people out of the wall. Ritzy retires because he's happy with his lap time. But Joe, again, botching the lap. Might just be the commentator's curse here because, of course, we've been around to see when he's invalidated both times. He's one of only 2 drivers right now, the other being Deer Hunter in the AlphaTauri, who's also just boggled the lap. Only those 2 are left and are yet to set lap times, and they're going to be in trouble here because keep in mind, everyone outside the top 10 is going to get eliminated in this session. We've only got 5 minutes left. It is a short lap at Austria, so you can get away with leaving it pretty late in terms of starting your final lap. But it is not advisable. So the current running order right now, Taylor, Vojay, Ritzy, Meanford, and Gududu. Those guys, you know, the Mercedes, the Red Bulls, the Racing Points, they're never really going to have much of a problem getting into Q3, so we can probably assume that they are going to be safe. The only The only guy seeming to stick with the medium strategy gamble is currently Goody-Doo, but he might change that, I would say. Skeppy back out onto the track. Or actually just coming in. That's Joe that's coming back out onto the track immediately for another lap. Skeppy's currently P6. I don't think he's going to have too much trouble keeping that. Really no one behind him that could upset that spot other than maybe Neymar or Joe. Or perhaps Deer Hunter, but even then he'd only be down to 9th. Neymar in 7th, Ardell in 8th. They're okay for now, but they are somewhat vulnerable. Neymar's had a good qualifying record so far this season, but that could change. And we've got a new follower actually, Shane4729. Thank you very much for tuning into the stream today and following. Your follower number 998. Wait a minute. 998 followers. I've been hyping up all season so far that we should easily be able to get to 1,000 Twitch followers by the end of April. And it's only April 8th right now. We're barely a week in, and we're only 2 away right now from the big 1,000. If you're watching the stream right now and you have not yet hit the follow button, do it right now. We can get our goal tonight. Until then, enjoy the qualifying action and then the racing action, which I assure you is coming after this. It's not all just hot lapping. And Joe's actually on his lap right now, so let's tune in real quick for that. Riding on board with the McLaren driver who's currently under pressure, is currently outside the top 10 along with Mitchie in the Ferrari and Heikatra in the Renault. As well as Deer Hunter's AlphaTauri, taking plenty of curb into turn number 3. Again, the curbs play a huge part in your line through the track, or in your line through the lap on this track. I believe it was last year's race in real life where the 2 Mercedes cars had to stay off the curbs because they were overheating their suspension or something to that effect, and it really hampered their lap times. Go a little squirrely, a little wayward through turn 6. Not quite getting the tightest line that you'd want. Smooth through 7 though, and through 8. Now coming into the final 2 corners, how much speed can he carry? He's had a solid lap so far. Will that last? Down to Rint now, tricky corner, but he got it. That was an excellent line through there. And it's a 103.678. Joe rockets up to 3rd place, and he is safely into Q3. But TTM Stenner in the very slow Williams car is going to be knocked out because of that. He's only going to have one more chance. If Stenner wants to go back out right now and make a run for Q3, he needs to do it, like, right now. He does not have any time to waste. Mitchie, meanwhile, in the Ferrari, he's currently under pressure. He's outside the top 10, but he's down on his previous time by about 0.7 of a second. How much can he stretch that in the 3rd sector? It's going to be a 104.3, and he's just into the top 10 ahead of his teammate Ed Taranya, who's also on a flying lap right now, going down the first straightaway after turn number 1. Through 2, we're gonna cut to Deer Hunter right now in the AlphaTauri. He's setting his first lap of the session. Goody-Doo rockets to the top of the scoreboard. He has abandoned the medium gamble and has gone up to the softs, and that has really given him an advantage. 103.1, he is safely in as well, but we already knew that. Deer Hunter coming up to the line. What's he going to be? 104.1 into 8th place, and that knocks both Ferraris out of the top 10. And AlphaTauri seems to be the superior Italian team at the moment, even though they technically have a slower car at the moment. Mitchie really under pressure now. Same with Ed Taranya. Going to ride on board with Mitchie for the rest of his lap. Oh, never mind, he's invalidated it. Mitchie's not going to have time for another lap. Well, he will, but it'll be on very old tires. I think Mitchie might be out, but Ed Taranya still has a chance to get in. Oh, no, he careered off the track there. Oh, he'd already invalidated his lap, it looks like. So Ed's going to be out as well. You know that much. Stenner and Katra, they're not coming back out. So it looks like BRL Ardell's going to get away by the skin of his teeth. Is he going to improve? Not quite. To his credit, he did get within half a tenth. And those are your eliminations. Mitchie, Ed Taranya, Stenner, and Heikatra out in Q2. Both Ferraris, the remaining Williams, and one of the Renaults. No real surprises there. That's roughly where the Ferrari and Renault pace is right now. Hold on, wait a minute. We just got 2 more followers. HRT Heatwave Bot and Voje26. One of our Realistic League team managers and one of our drivers who's currently on track right now have both just followed the stream, and we're up to 1,000. It looks like we're up to 1,000 Twitch followers finally, and thank you guys so much for this. I've been commentating around here for about 6 months now, and I know a lot of guys who've been around for even longer and have been pouring their heart and soul into this league. The owners especially, Skeppy, Maverick, Meanfern, all those guys have really done a lot to help this league grow. They've been at the head of it the entire time for all 6 seasons so far. And it's nice to see that we're getting plenty of exposure now. 1,000 Twitch followers, not bad at all. But that's Ardell coming into the pits, just scraping by into Q3 by less than a tenth of a second. I'm still waiting on Cookie actually to tell me who was eliminated in Q1. It seems that he was one of the people who was eliminated because he's not showing up on the scoreboard right now. And Tom Dillon Sim Racing now, to add to the love, has just followed the stream. Your follower number 1001. How about that? Thank you very much, Tom. And I hope you enjoy the race. We just finished up with Q2 and we'll be getting into the pole position shootout in just a moment here. As you can see, no one succeeding in the medium gamble. It's not as important at Austria. Again, it's a relatively low tire wear track. But that is an important detail to mention because that means everybody in the top 10 is going to be on the same strategy. It's basically going to be a straight fight because at Austria, it is a no-brainer. It's a one-step strategy, either from soft to hard if you want to push a little harder during the soft stint, no pun intended, or soft-medium if you want to manage the softs a bit but have more pace in the latter parts of the race. Most people at this level are probably going to go soft-medium. But there might be a couple audacious people who go soft hard. A 2-stop really isn't viable around here. I know. I've tried it. It has gone badly. Far Grand is actually Ardell saying, I made it. Yeah, just Ardell. Cut it close there, I would say. But you are, so congratulations on that. And here we are in Q3 now. Just like that, we're jumping right back into things. As you can see, the 2 McLarens, the 2 AlphaTauris, the Mercs, the Red Bulls, and then a Racing Point and a Renault are the ones we have in Q3. It's only going to be 12 minutes, quite a bit shorter than the other 2 sessions. So we're going to have some very fast and frantic lap time set here. That's what I love about Q3. Everything's on the line. Everything to play for. It's much more intense than in other parts of qualifying where strategy often gets in the way of cars demonstrating their ultimate pace. Right now, the track's all rubbered in. There is no excuse for these guys to underperform right now. They have to get out there and set the best lap time they can possibly manage. Otherwise, they are going to be out. They are not going to get pole position. One shoe-in for pole position today would be Taylor Clanton in the Red Bull. Of course, Red Bull's home circuit, the RB16 has been shown to have quite a bit of pace around here. Not quite as much as the Mercedes, but still quite a lot. And Taylor, of course, our defending champ. He won the Realistic Championship with Mercedes last season. So he's looking to replicate his success this year. Speaking of who's been successful this year, I will be getting up the standings in just a moment. I've had the standings spreadsheet out here, but there hasn't really been an opportunity to share it at the moment. So yeah, I'll go over the results from the last race at Canada after Taylor's lap. Riding on board with the Red Bull driver, starting the lap right now. Coming into turn 1, braking just after the 100 board. Looking smooth, maybe not that much momentum out of turn 1. I think he was a bit sluggish out of there, trying to avoid oversteering track extending. Still carrying good speed though. Still purple sector 1, of course, because he's the first one to set a lap time through turn 3. Looking smooth so far. Ooh, a bit of oversteer. Off the apex. I think he snagged a bit too much curve. Maybe a bit of that yellow sausage on the inside. Not the best lap from Taylor so far. Going into turn 4. Again, smooth on the brakes. Bit of a lockup. Ooh, that's going to compromise his exit. Again, his corners are okay. They're just not great. There's tiny mistakes in every braking zone so far. Not that one, though. Good through turn 6. Seemingly good through turn 7. Ooh, a little bit wide, but nothing that'll cost him more than a 100th or 2. But, of course, those hundreds can make the difference right at the death of a session. Through turn 9, plenty of speed. No flaws there. Now turn 10. Ooh, oh, invalidation. He just track extended by a hair's breadth. And Taylor's lap is forfeit now. Unfortunate for Taylor. Joe just finishing his lap right now. Steffi just starting a lap right now. Vojay sitting at 103.707. Not bad at all from him. Joe coming across the line now, and it's going to be even better. 103.517 despite being in a slower car. Meanford, despite being in the fastest car of all, only sets a 103.939. Ardell coming across the line. He goes 4th fastest in the 6th fastest car, 109.116. Ritchie manages a 103.944. Who's going to be next across the line? I believe it'll be Neymar. Good to do, Deer Hunter still having not left the pits for some reason. Probably saving their tire sets. Oh, I thought that was a spin, but I think it was just a desync from Neymar. Coming across the line, it's a 105.047. He made a mistake somewhere on the lap, but I don't think it was in the final corner. Next across the line is either going to be Taylor or Skeppy. I believe it's going to be Taylor. Oh, nope, he's already invalidated again. He's going to come into the pits now, I think. Yeah, he is. Taylor choking early on. Really bad luck for him so far. Skeppy also invalidating his first lap. So, Joe having the best fortune so far. Skeppy having almost the worst. But Skeppy is going to go straight into another lap, just like Taylor did before. So let's ride on board with the McLaren right now. Into turn 1, ooh, taking quite a bit of curve. That's what I would do, honestly. Oh, and he track extends out of turn 1, and that's the lap over. Just like we saw Joe do at the start of Q2. Yeah, the track limits at Austria, strict corner cutting, especially on this game in particular, is notoriously harsh. Like, there have been plenty of instances where I and several other people, many other people who've played this game, have thought, oh, I stayed within the track limits, I kept 2 wheels just on the road. But no, the game still gives them a warning or an invalidation anyway. Like, Austria is a real bitch, I gotta say that. And these drivers are finding that out the hard way today. I'm sure they'll have tested the limits of the track limits in time trial before today. But even then, not everything is completely predictable. Joe, I think, is going to come into the pits now. He's already put in 2 lap attempts, I believe. Yeah, he's coming in. Skeppy is probably going to come in too. No, he's not. Skeppy's going to go straight into another lap, I think. He is. All right, Skeppy being very stubborn here. That could be a good call. But at the same time, he's got Goody-Doo behind him, who's on fresh tires and is setting his first lap of the session. So he's got to make haste here if he doesn't want to hold the Mercedes up. Skeppy into turn number 3, looking smooth so far. No lockups like his teammate. His braking style seems a bit different. That or he's running ABS. No, if I remember correctly, ABS isn't allowed in this tier. So into turn number 4 now. And Skeppy locks up this time. On entry, but not too badly. Seems to have an okay exit, but it's a bit hard to tell from this camera angle. Through turn 6, carrying a decent amount of speed, being pretty cautious on the curbs on the exit. Purple middle sector for Skeppy. That might be a fluke, since the game sometimes gives glitchy purple sectors. But it's looking like a decent lap so far. Will it be in that low 103 range, though? We could see maybe even a dip into the 102s for the pole time here. We'll have to see as the session wears on. Skeppy across the line, and it's going to be a 104.198, and Goody-Doo goes provisional pole right behind him with a 103.359. Beats Joe's time by a 10th and a half. So Skeppy up to P6, Goody-Doo up to P1. And Deer Hunter's now on a flying lap as well. He just started one, actually, coming out of turn 1. Ooh, it looked like he track extended there. Just a teeny tiny bit, but he did get the invalidation. Honestly, I have thought that sometimes track limits at Austria are just luck-based. That might be true, it might not be, who knows? Who knows what goes on in Codemasters, honestly. Deer Hunter having a good run of it so far, out of turn 3. To turn 4 now, locking up a bit. Ooh, that's a severe lockup. All the way into the entry, all the way to the apex. Through turn 6 though, still doing well. Carrying a decent amount of speed considering the AlphaTauri's lack of downforce compared to the front runners. Using all of the track on turn 8. Now we're going to shift to the outside for the penultimate corner. Carrying a decent amount of speed. Oh, almost going wide. That was some serious tension in the steering wheel. Not pushing the track limits too much in the final corner for fear of unsettling the car, and it's a 103.973. Not bad at all for Deer Hunter. That's 6th fastest for right now. Just usurping Skeppy. And it looks like that's going to be our last lap for a minute or two here. Is Vojay on a flying lap? Yeah, I think... No, Vojay is not on a flying lap at the moment. I think he might be on an in-lap, as a matter of fact. Deer 400. Don't think he's going straight into another lap. No, he's not. Yeah, he's not pushing quite hard enough. Yellow flags for Vojay, it looks like. I suppose this would be a good time as we have a bit of a lull in the qualifying proceedings before the final push to recount the results of the previous race over at Canada in Montreal. Taylor actually claimed his second win of the season at round 6 last week. And second place, I don't see who got second place actually. It must have been a reserve driver because second place isn't showing up on the scoreboard. So yeah, Ritzy got third. I'm not sure who got second. If someone could fill me in on that would be great because I was unfortunately not here last week. Tom Dillon saying, massive respect doing full quality and race alone. Haha, good job. Thank you very much, Tom. I enjoy what I do. Yeah, I'm supposedly the full-time realistic tier commentator, but the thing is there have been so many different things this season that have transpired that have kind of prevented that. If I remember correctly, I did the races here at rounds 1 and 2, Bahrain and Vietnam. But then the China race was canceled because of an Xbox Live outage, and then I was out of town for the Zandvoort weekend, so I didn't do that. I did Spain, but for the Formula 2, I missed the Formula 2 race, which is directly after this, by the way, at 10 p.m. Eastern, because of other issues with Twitch. And Baku and Canada were both missed as well for other reasons. So it's been tough so far this season. The game always puts up a fight, it seems. My schedule is tough, but we make it work, and the racing's always great, so it's certainly a worthwhile pastime. We got plenty of other great commentators here as well. Mitchie, who was eliminated in Q2, is our main Friday commentator. He'll be on tomorrow for Tier 4, I believe. And he does a great job as well. Great wit, great passion. Really, I think we have a really strong commentator lineup this season. It's definitely improving. Last year we had trouble filling some spots. Like there was no full-time realistic commentator for most of last season. But now I'm here, and all the other tiers are stable right now, so it's going well. It's going well. Grand is saying Chandler got second. Oh yeah, Chandler Seta. He must have reserved. Nikki Wolf saying, "Ay, mi madre Guridu." Looks like we got a Guridu fan in the chat, but please keep it English in the Twitch chat, please. You can't moderate in other languages. Joe shaves 0.06 of a second off of his lap time to bring himself up to a 103.292. Next across the line is going to be Ardell, looks like. Excuse my mic static. That happens from time to time. Ooh, Ardell's down by a significant margin on his previous time. It's down to a 103.984, and that's up to P7. Next is going to be Vojay. Actually, Vojay just came into the pit, so he will not be improving on his previous one is going to be the AlphaTauri one of the AlphaTauris, Deer Hunter, who's just actually starting a lap. So we'll come back to him. Guridu, meanwhile, trying to improve on his previous time, but he's already 0.4 behind. So it looks like he's going to be staying put at a 103.0, basically flat, which is still a very respectable time, still provisional pole, but I'm sure he would have liked a little bit more insurance than what he has right now. He could be usurped by Meanfern or Ritzy or Taylor at the moment. Speaking of Taylor, I believe is about to finish a lap. Oh no, Taylor's invalidated. Taylor's choked a lap again. What is this? Ritzy Raccoon up to third place, 103.358, but Taylor might just run out of time here. Ooh, is he going to get to the line? 2 seconds, 1 second. All right, he's going to have time for one more lap, but it is going to be crucial that he doesn't invalidate this one because this is his last chance. He got to the line right at the death of things. So he's very lucky to have another lap. Let's see how he goes. On board right now with the Red Bull of Taylor, the defending champion who might just not set a time in Q3 and start P10. That will put him seriously out of position considering how fast the Red Bull is around here. Looking good so far through the first sector. Not purple, still solid though. Yellow flag in sector 2 as some people seem to be going slowly. Clear track ahead of Taylor for now though, into turn number 6, using plenty of curb on entry, taking a nice tight line, pushing the curbs to their limit on the exit through turn 7 now. Guridu sets another fastest lap, 102.911, so he will get some extra insurance against Taylor. Taylor not having the most stellar lap either way, not a purple second sector either. He's just trying to survive, I think, just trying to put something on the board. He's going to have to at least beat a 104.198 from Skeppy if he wants to move up. And it's going to be a 104.008, only 8th place for Taylor, just about a quarter of a tenth shy of Deer Hunter's time. That is a disappointing performance for the Red Bull driver and defending champion. Taylor currently second place in the championship, 19 points behind his teammate Ritzy, and that is not going to help things. So Ritzy, the championship leader, and our winner from Baku and Zandvoort, is in third place. Gududu, though, on pole position for what I believe is the first time this season. He had a little bit of trouble getting up to speed in qualifying pace. I still remember him getting eliminated in Q1 at Vietnam, which was quite unfortunate, but he's doing really well now. Joe in the McLaren having a standout performance, qualifying second in the McLaren. We know he's fast. He's been trapped in the Williams for most of the season. He actually won, though. He won the opening race at Bahrain as a reserve for Mercedes, so we know he's very quick. Neen Fern occupying the second row alongside Ritzy, and then Vojay in the Racing Point. Ardell in the Renault. Excellent performance from him. Deer Hunter and Taylor. Deer Hunter overperforming, I'd argue, with the speed of the AlphaTauri car. Taylor performing. Nick 9th and BRL rounding out the top 10. Here we go into the race now. Formation lap on. So we will have to wait before getting in 50% length, half the distance, the standard Austrian Grand Prix, which is 36 laps. Ardell saying, P6, let's go. Yeah, not bad at all, Ardell, for the Renault's performance level. Ooh. Do you guys see what I see? It appears to be overcast. And at Spielberg, Austria, rain is never out of the question. I will say that much. We could be in for a treat here, ladies and gentlemen. A wet race. And that could really shake things up. So we're going to look at the full starting grid in a moment here because, of course, Q1 was not streamed due to technical difficulties, and Q2 was already a little while ago. So we'll be going over the entire starting grid during the formation lap. And here we are on the grid now. The lights are out and away we limp. That is the creed of the formation lap. All right, let's take a look at strategies. It looks like everyone is opting for the soft compound tire, first of all, except for FinFan in the Haas and TTM Stenner in the Williams, both of whom are in slower cars, and they're gambling on the medium tire, apparently. Honestly, if I were them, I would just stick with the softs because it looks like it could rain at any given moment here. This is really overcast weather, almost foggy, I'd say. But as I promised, I'll go over the entire starting grid now. Eras Gududu on pole position here at the Red Bull Ring, followed by Joe F1 in the McLaren. A surprise performance from him. Ritzy in third, Meetfer in fourth, and then Vojay, Ardell, Deer Hunter, Taylor, Neymar, and Skeppy rounding out the top 10. They're rapid fire because we just saw them anyway. Mitchie in the Ferrari in at 11th place. Stenner is going to be P12 in the very slow but very impressive performance from the Williams driver. Katra 13th. Boss Cookie in the Racing Point 14th, eliminated in Q1, as I said. Quite surprising. He'll be very out of position. Watch his charge through the field later on. He might just pull a Sergio Perez and come up to win the thing. I wouldn't be surprised at all. Cookie has already won once this year at Spain, and he's taken 2 second places at Bahrain and Azerbaijan. So needless to say, he is quite a quick driver. FinFan in 15th in the Haas car. Unknown Ute, who's had some struggles this year, I will say. In the Alfa Romeo, 16th place. Ed Tarogna, who qualified 12th, if I can speak English, but had a 5-place grid penalty apparently. Will be starting down in 17th. He is slightly out of position, so watch for his advancement up the field as well. MRL Victor in 18th, and Lewis Fan 44, who's reserving today for one of our other drivers, is starting 19th and last, but it is his Breakout Racing League debut. So give a big round of applause to Lewis. He is quite brave by coming into Realistic, which is full of Tier 1 and Tier 2 drivers, very fast people. We'll have to see how he performs today. He is a bit of an unknown quantity, but considering his qualifying performance, I wouldn't expect a huge amount from him. No offense to him, of course. Inken Raptor in the chat saying, am I the only one having lagging issues? I'm not sure, my friend. Everything is stable on my end. So it may just be you. Here we go. Up to 5 red lights, and away we go. Good start for ARS Gududu, but Joe is still right there. Ritzy already alongside Joe for second place. Is it going to be good into turn 1? Everything's stable so far. Ooh, bits of front wing flying around already. Joe having a tank slapper up turn 1. And Ritzy up to second place. Bojay up to third. Meanford looking to be in fourth at the moment. Lewis fan is showing us in the lead for some reason. That is a scoreboard glitch. Just ignore it. The real leader at the moment is ARS Gududu in the Mercedes with Ritzy right behind. Bojay third. Joe diving up the inside in fourth. Deer Hunter's up to P4 though. Very good start from the AlphaTauri driver. Joe up to fifth it looks like, followed by Ardell, Taylor, and Mean Fern, who fell behind on that straightaway apparently. Riding on board now with the rearview camera of ARS Gududu. You can see Bojay and Ritzy very clearly in the rearview mirror right now. For the Mercedes driver and pole sitter. Let's see how he copes with the pressure. Ritzy keeping close right now. The championship leader looking for another win. Looking to become the first 3-time race winner this season. But he has a mountain to climb if he wants to, because Gududu has shown his pace already in quali. And we've got a car off. It's BRL Skeppy. Skeppy, who made it into Q3, started 10th, is going to be out of the race already, and I'm not entirely sure why. And the safety car is out on the end of lap 1. It is not lap 3, it's lap 2. Again, sometimes the game shows it's lap 3 early for some reason, but the safety car is indeed coming out, and 2 people are already pitting for new wings. So as I've said before, Taylor and Unknown Unit looks like have both run into problems. Yep, there's the wing change for Taylor. And there it is for Ute. Yeah, both of them running into serious problems early on, it seems. I saw bits of front wing flying in turn 1 around where Taylor was. See, that's why Taylor's starting in 8th place was so bad. Like, when you start in a lower position than you're used to, you're not only going to have to get past more people to get back up to the front, but you're also going to be at a higher risk of crashes, of course, because you're more ingrained in the pack. You're deeper in. Looks like they're not going to go a lap down, though, so that's good. Skeppy already out, though. I did not actually see what happened there, so I think I'm going to get him in the party real quick and see what that was all about. Actually, it looks like he's already turned off his Xbox, so... Well, we'll try anyway. We'll see if we can get him in here and find out what happened, because I did not see that at all. You guys probably didn't see it. Yeah, it says he's offline now. But we'll see about that. And the safety car is out. Looks like it's just waiting at the entry to turn 3 for the pack right now. And Ute and Taylor should be able to catch up to the rear of the field, no problem. And we will not be getting Skeppy in the party, unfortunately, because he seems to have rage shut off his Xbox, as I said before. And the queue is forming up quite nicely now. And we're going to have a little bit of a break now, so not too much to talk about during the safety car periods, of course. I suppose I could rattle off the championship standings right now. As I said before, Ritzy Raccoon currently leading the championship with 109 points to his name. But it is somewhat of a tenuous lead. It's not as big of a breakaway as we're seeing in some other tiers. Taylor Clamp currently with 90 points in second place, his Red Bull teammate. Boss Cookie in third, but after a disappointing performance in Canada, he has fallen behind slightly. From second to third, he's got 84 points right now. Those are the only real title contenders right now. Mean Fern's in fourth, but he's only got 58 points at the moment. And Deer Hunter currently rounds out the top 5 with 45 points. As for the Constructors' Championship currently, we've got Red Bull in the lead, obviously, since it's a Red Bull 1-2 in the drivers, with 199 points. Racing Point is in second with 115 points, so it's not very close right now. Mercedes is in third with 91 points. AlphaTauri fourth with 78. McLaren is in fifth with 46. Ferrari is in sixth with 38. And then Renault, Haas, Williams, and Alfa Romeo with 31, 7, 6, and 0 respectively. And it looks like we've got a pitter. We have a pitter indeed. MRL Victor in the Haas. He seems to have run into some problems somewhere. Not entirely sure where, but yeah, the pit crew has a wing ready for him, it seems. Oh no, he has a penalty. He has a penalty for a collision, so he'll be serving that. He didn't have any problems, so he's going on to another set of softs, but he's choosing to serve the penalty now, which honestly I think it's smart, because he's sacrificing track position, sure, but not as much as he would if he had to pit under the green flag. Sure, he could wait until his first pit stop to serve the penalty, but that'll just lose him track position even more so when everyone else is in the pits. So, yeah, a nice low risk play from Victor. I'd say this could keep him in contention for points if things go awry for the cars ahead. Gudu currently leading the pack behind the safety car, and we will know in a few moments if the SC is coming in at the end of this lap. I think it will be, since everyone is pretty much in the queue. Yep, it is coming in this lap. So we're going to be back to racing action real quickly here. And after the restart, it's going to be 2 laps before DRS is handed out to the cars who are less than 1 second behind the car ahead. So at the start of lap 7, we'll be seeing the openings in the rear wing, and I'll let you know when that happens. Safety car pulling into the pits, and we are ready to go racing once again. Very nice side pod shot of Gudu's car here as we wait to see when he will go. Probably right off the final corner to catch out Ritzy as much as possible. And he does go right up the... Oh, never mind. Ooh, he's waiting right until the start-finish line, and he's going now. Ritzy gets a 5-second penalty for a collision with Gudu. Not entirely sure what that was all about. Ritzy did seem to be sticking very close to the back of the Mercedes car. A little big squirrely moment off of turn number 1 for Gudu. That was probably just cold tires as Joe pulls even with Vojay now in the Racing Point. He's going to take 3rd place away from the Racing Point car. Deer Hunter now putting the Racing Point under pressure as well. Down the inside of Vojay into turn 3. That's a very audacious braking point indeed. Ooh, Vojay coming back around the outside. Deer Hunter not carrying enough momentum through the apex. And that's going to cost him now. Ardell is going to put the pressure on into turn number 4. On the outside, is he going to make it work? Doesn't look like he will, but anything's possible here at the Red Bull Ring. Nope, it's not going to work. So we'll stay in 6th place for right now. Meanford, Boskoki, Katra, and Name are currently rounding out the top 10. Boskoki already having made up 7 positions since the start of the race. Not bad at all from him. We're going to focus on the battle for the lead right now between Gudu and Ritzy. Joe somewhat in the background, but he's not going to be much of a factor because of his slower car. He can stick with the leaders for right now, but that is not likely to last very long. One thing I will say is that if anyone had any thoughts about maybe doing a soft to hard strategy before, I think those thoughts are dashed now, because safety car period will let everyone stretch their soft tires out a little bit longer to get onto those mediums. No DRS this lap. It'll be at the start of next lap, as I said, because 2 laps after any full safety car or after the start of the race, that is when the rear wing openings happen. Meanwhile, Ritzy into turn 3 here. Gudu just stretching out the gap ever so slightly, and oh, look at that, 1 second, almost 1 second now. Ritzy is hovering right on the edge of that 1 second range that he needs for the DRS. Joe's really on the same cusp with Ritzy, and then Vojay just outside the barrier right now for Joe, but he could get back in it before the start of the next lap potentially. As we ride on board now with Joe F1 in the McLaren, let's see how well he's getting on, keeping up with the faster Red Bull and Mercedes ahead. Looks like Ritzy and Joe are both going to get DRS, but Vojay and Deer Hunter, I don't think they will unless they have really good performances in the 3rd sector. Ooh, big liftoff moment for Joe there. I think that's going to lose him quite a bit of ground, and I think it's going to lose him the DRS too. Yeah, Joe is outside of DRS range now. Ritzy right before the start of the DRS period. Ritzy, though, just staying within the range, and that's going to make his next 2 laps much easier. Because now he has the opening in the rear wing, that's going to gain him a ton of speed on the straights, and that's going to help him close the gap down again to Gudu. By staying within a second, Ritzy might have just kept himself in contention here for the race win. I know it's early to be saying that, but it is true. The DRS plays a huge role, especially at tracks like Austria where there are 3 zones. Still hovering on that 1 second barrier right now. Gudu does have more power by default on the straight because of that Mercedes engine compared to the Honda one. The Honda engine, of course, being very potent this year in real life, but last year not so much. Meanwhile, plenty of shuffling going on for the back. Boskoki has gotten past Ardell now. Ardell and Katra, both the Renaults. Katra making up 5 places at the start of the race. Not bad at all for her. But Boskoki really storming through the field as I expected, and he's right on the back of Deer Hunter right now. There's a bit of a lull in the battles up front right now. Let's take a look at Boskoki and see if he can get past Deer Hunter into turn number 1. Maybe Deer Hunter goes wide at the exit of the final corner. He's going to have the opening in the rear wing. Deer Hunter will not. He's just too far behind Vojay. Boskoki's at the fastest lap of the race, 106.407. Into turn 1, can't quite get it done. He's not quite close enough, but he's going to get a great run off of turn 1, and he's going to put the overtake on. Deer Hunter has nothing to answer with. He's out of battery, and Cookie is up into 5th place. Already 10 spots gained. Amazing stuff here from Boskoki in the Racing Point car. Or 9 spots, sorry, 9 spots if you account for Taranja's grid penalty. And Taranja, to his credit, has already made up 4 spots since the start of the race. And now Boss Cookie is going to embark on the quest of beating his teammate for the day, Vojay. And in the meantime, we are going to shift back up to towards the front of the field. The battle for third right now is between Vojay and Joe, although Boss Cookie could knock on the door of that pretty soon. And we are going to take a look at Joe right now, riding over with the McLaren. It looks like he's keeping the Racing Point at bay for right now. He's much stronger in the third sector, I will say. How much longer will that last, especially with the lockups coming off the McLaren left and right now. Vojay reeling him in on the straights. Once again, the Mercedes engine more powerful than the Renault one in the McLaren. And Merrill Victor getting a 3-second time penalty. Ritzy already has one as well. Or scratch that, Ritzy has the penalty from colliding with Goodidoo before the safety car restart. He might appeal that to the stewards, I suspect. And now, yes, Boss Cookie is knocking right on the door of the battle for third place right now as Ardell's tracking down Deer Hunter for 6th. Both of the Racing Points now putting pressure on the McLaren, but that could be a blessing and a curse for Vojay. Because for Vojay, it is a bit of a pass or repass situation now. Joe makes a bit of a mistake, locks up with the turn forward. Vojay's right on the back of him right now. But as I'm saying, it is pass or be-pass for Vojay. He's going to go up the inside into turn 6. That's an audacious move. And I think that was a little too ambitious for the Racing Point reserve driver. Vojay really putting Joe under pressure. They're about even on ERS levels. Cookie has a little less than these two. But Vojay clearly has the upper hand right now. He needs to overtake Joe in the next lap or so, I'd say. Otherwise, Cookie's going to put some serious pressure on. Ooh, Joe makes a mistake off in the final corner. Vojay's going to have DRS into turn number 1 now. Joe's going to force him around the outside. Oh, that's some very staunch defense from Joe F1, and that is right on the borderline of what is legal. But I would say it is legal, and Cookie's going to get in now. Cookie's going to get in on the action. That was exactly the kind of pulled-up fight that he needed to get past both of them in one straightaway. Cookie into third place. Vojay's going to follow him through on Joe, but Vojay goes deep into turn 3. They're going to be side by side out of turn 3. Riding aboard with Joe, and Vojay gets left behind. Getting a little bit too ambitious there into turn number 3, and Joe's going to keep 4th place at least. And now the question is, can Boss Cookie catch up to the top 2 and maybe fight for the lead here? Does he have that kind of pace? Can he maintain that kind of pace? Maybe he'll pit early and try the undercut to gain ground that way. The ball really is in Cookie's court now since he's gotten past the midfield, consisting of Joe, Vojay, Deer Hunter, and pretty much everyone behind. Vojay's going to continue to put Joe under pressure, though. He's still right behind. He's still got more pace right now, I'd say. Joe not managing his tires very well, perhaps. Or perhaps the Racing Point is just naturally better on its tires than the McLaren. Vojay's going to be too far away for turn 1, but maybe for turn 3 on the longer straight with the longer DRS zone. Nice and stable through turn 1 for the most part. He's clearly on the edge of what's available in his grip, though. Could he try a dive bomb? No, he's not going to do that this time. He's learned from last lap, and he's going to apply his knowledge possibly to a move in turn 4, but I think he's going to be too far back, actually. Although it's important to note, Boss Cookie's just broken the DRS to Joe, so that's going to make Joe much more vulnerable. Into turn 4 now. That was the last obvious overtaking opportunity for the rest of the lap. So Vojay's going to have to wait here. He's just going to have to stay close to the dirty air through the third sector if he wants this position. Ooh, locking up in the turn 6, that's not going to help him at all. And the commentator's curse might have struck there, because I was about to say Vojay needs to stay as close behind him as possible, but he's not doing too well. Good run out of turn 7, though. He still has the opportunity, possibly. Really getting ground into turn 9. Racing Point's going to have a lot more aerodynamic grip than the McLaren MCL 35. Yeah, Vojay's not going to be close enough, but he can do it in turn 3. He can do it into the third corner if he gets a good run. Oh, Joe makes a mistake. Joe makes a mistake, and he's going to go by. Oh, there's contact, and the end plate breaks off of Vojay's car. Vojay just lost the end plate on the left-hand side, as you can see with that camera angle. So it's going to be a blessing and a curse. He's got the position, but at what cost? Vojay up to 4th, but Joe might be poised for a counterattack here. We're going to go back briefly to take a look at the battle between Deer Hunter and Ardell. It's been raging for a bit. And much like the McLaren versus Racing Point battle, this could now become a double team for the Renaults against the AlphaTauri. Katra really reeling in Ardell right now, who's right on the back of Deer Hunter. And Meanford and the Mercedes could be in a position to get all 3 of them. Let's see, Meanford and Taylor. Taylor's right behind Meanford as well. This is a huge battle here. A 5-way scrap for 6th place, potentially. as Deer Hunter struggling to keep up with the top 5. But everyone else has some really good pace right now. Keep in mind, Taylor's on the medium tires, so that is hampering him slightly. Because, of course, he pitted right at the start of the race. Deer Hunter gets the 3-second time penalty. Ardell gets the 3-second time penalty. Ardell goes wide. I think there was a bit of contact there that forced them both off the track, and Ardell's going to lose a ton of positions. 3 spots on one straightaway, all because of one tiny love tap, I think, with the AlphaTauri of Deer Hunter. We're going to keep riding on board with Taylor. Good run off the corner for Taylor. He could get Meanford rather into turn number 3. Oh, Meanford's going to try and move on. Katra. This will not end well, I don't think. 3 wide. Briefly there. And this is really good news for Deer Hunter because these 3 are all fighting really hard right now, showing no mercy, giving no corner, and that might allow Deer Hunter to break the DRS, give him the breathing room he needs to maybe pull away and catch up to the top 5, or the top 4 now, as it is, since other people have just gone off the track. Cough, cough, Ardell. And actually, we are seeing some pit stops now. Joe is actually coming to the pits. He's pulled the trigger. Joe and Vojay, they've both pulled the trigger on the leaders, as Joe actually struggling to get past Lewis Fan at the moment. But they're onto the hard tires, importantly. No one, actually, the soft to medium strategy is not as popular as I thought it would be, as 2 of the leaders early on are going for the different gambit here. Neymar as well, BRL Neymar coming in early to get onto the hards, and that might be good for them because of the undercut. But at the same time, they're going to be at a tire disadvantage for much of the next stint because of that harder compound. Charles16 just followed the stream. Thank you very much, Charles. Your follower number 1002. If you've gotten here during qualifying, you might have been able to become follower number 1000, but that title will forever belong to Tom Dillon Sim Racing. Or sorry, not Tom Dillon, but I guess it would be Tom Dillon because one of the followers right before Tom was a bot on alt account of HRT Heatwave. So we'll call it, yeah, Tom is our 1000th follower. He gets a random prize. Ooh, another desync for Neymar there. His connection does not seem to be very good right now. As Katra has just pulled the trigger as well. Katra has gone under the hards, and she has just exited the pits. Lewis Fan also going onto the hard compound. Who's going to be next? Everyone on softs right now, from Gudidu all the way down to Ed Tarogna, they're hurting themselves, I'd say, by staying out much longer on the softs, as they're really going to start to degrade now. Who's coming in this lap? Gudidu stays out. Boss Cookie stays out. Everyone seems to be staying out right now, except for Ardell. Ardell comes into the pits for Renault. But Gudidu, Boss Cookie, Deer Hunter, Meanfern, they're all going long, it seems. Same with the 2 Ferraris. And Ardell, sure enough, is going onto that medium compound tire. Same with Ritzy. Ritzy's pitted as well from 2nd place. So Ritzy could potentially get the undercut here on Gudidu and take the lead of this Austrian Grand Prix. It'll all depend on the outlap. Let's take a look at Ritzy right now. He's currently, let's calculate the gap to leader. Now, Ritzy's currently 24 seconds behind the leader in Gudidu, and a pit stop at Austria is usually around, 25, 26 seconds, around there, 24. So Ritzy's right on the cusp right now of what's allowable in terms of an undercut. Gudidu comes into the pits. He's going to respond here. He has to respond. Cookie's staying out, though. Cookie inherits the lead of this Austrian Grand Prix after starting in 15th. What about Taylor? Taylor's going to stay out because he's on the mediums. Meanford stays out. Deer Hunter pits. Deer Hunter coming into the pit lane for AlphaTauri. Mitchie pitting as well. It's good for Ed Tarogna to not pit because, of course, that would be a double stack and that would lose Ed quite a lot of time. So Ed's going to brave it out a little bit longer. Meanford now reeling in Taylor clan. Of course, we've reached the crossover point now where mediums are going to be faster than softs of equal age, but the Mercedes is also slightly faster than the Red Bull car. So Meanford does have the potential to keep up here. Neither of them have very much battery. And Gudidu has just come out of the pits, and he's ahead of Ritzy. Gudidu is ahead of Ritzy Raccoon. By some margin, too. That's about 4 seconds, it looks like. And that is not good at all for the Red Bull driver and championship leader, as he has lost quite a bit of time. I'm guessing he got held up by lap traffic. And in the meantime, some people still staying out. Oh, Meanfern coming into the pits. Boss Cookie pits, so everyone's going to pit now. Still on the soft tires, I'd say. What about Ed? Is Ed going to pit? Ed's going to stay out, actually. Ed Tarogna. Ferrari braving it out on the softs.
going to be up to 4th place because of it. No, 3rd place. 3rd place for Ed after starting 17th, but of course he does still have to pit. And a 3-second time penalty now for Ritzy Raccoon. Multiple warnings. That's not good for him at all. Boss Cookie gets it as well. Gudu has no penalty still. Gudu is scot-free so far. No blemishes on his record. So that's important to take into consideration for the outcome of this race. And it looks like we've still got plenty of close battles going on. Oh, look at this. Boss Cookie trying to make his way through the field against Taylor, or Ritzy rather. And Boss Cookie is through on Ritzy Raccoon as Ed Tarania comes into the pits in the background. Boss Cookie has just gotten past Ritzy in the Red Bull, and that is for net 2nd place in the race. Boss Cookie on newer tires has just overtaken for P2, and that is very important and in the grand scheme of things in the championship. As they go down the 2nd straight, will Ritzy have an answer? Will Ritzy be able to come back? Not on this occasion. He'll be too far back into turn 3, but maybe into turn 4. Just maybe. Nope, still too far back. I think Cookie actually gained some ground there. Although keep in mind, Ritzy has about twice as much ERS as Boss Cookie. Cookie spent quite a bit of it trying to overtake. So that could still make him vulnerable to the Red Bull. Joe F1 meanwhile on the hard tires. I think he's regretting his strategy decision right now because he is not going to have nearly as much pace at the moment, and he's pretty far behind already. 6.1 seconds. The undercut does not seem to have worked on Cookie and Ritzy. So he's kind of in a no man's land right now. Taylor's just come out of the pits onto a new set of medium tires that are going to be fresher than most of the other people in the field. So he's going to be catching Joe rapidly for 4th place. Hey, Katra in a net. Not in the net 5th, but in 6th right now. Also on the hard tires. I doubt she'll be in 6th in her position for very much longer either, because Deer Hunter is very close. Deer Hunter currently trying to get past Voce, who's had quite the fall from grace since the start of this race, losing part of his wing and then making the wrong strategy call. Let's see if Deer Hunter can get by him into turn number 3. He's pretty low on battery, but he can still do it. And he's going to go down the inside, and he's going to get the job done in turn 3. Well done to Deer Hunter. Meanwhile, some moves going on in the background. Meanford dueling with Ardell for 9th place. Can Voce mount to come back possibly into turn number 4? He's very close. He's got the DRS. He's going to go on the outside. And he's going to try, and he's going to get it done around the outside. Well done to Voce for that move. He's back into P7. Gets a 3-second time penalty for warnings. Let's see what the penalty situation looks like right now. 6 seconds for Cookie now. Only 3 for Ritzy and 3 for Joe. And I'm just now realizing that Ritzy actually had a 5-second penalty to serve in the pits from the safety car period at the start of the race, so that's why his undercut attempt did not work, because he had to hold up quite a bit. As we are now past half distance in this race, and we have a spin. It's one of the Alfa Romeos. And it looks like Lewis Fan has just had a bit of a spin out of turn number 7. And he's lost a lot of his front wing, almost the entire left side. And he is going to have to come in now. And that is probably the end of his bid for point, because this is very much an unscheduled stop. And I believe it's going to plunk him out right in last place. Yep, Stenner coming around the final corner right now. Actually, Stenner's left the game, it looks like. He is not currently in the lobby, so his car is ghosted and he's in AI mode. That explains why he's so far behind compared to his starting position. In the meantime, Taylor right on the back of Joe. I said Joe would not remain in 4th very much longer because of those tires, because of that tire strategy, and Taylor is proving my point right now. Up the inside into turn 3. Again, Joe offering a staunch defense, but it won't be enough to overcome the tire deficit. Ooh, Joe still, he's sticking on the outside. Joe! That was some amazing momentum through turn 3, and that could give Joe a chance here. From Taylor's perspective, let's see how it looks. Ooh, Joe, very, very aggressive in the braking zone, but he locks up. Taylor's going to get the advantage, nosing ahead. Still Joe sticking it in. What a move from Taylor if he gets this done. And what defense from Joe. You can't go side by side through here. Surely not. Surely not. Oh, they're going to do it, and Taylor gets it done around the outside. Wow, that overtake took a half a lap to happen, and I absolutely loved every second of it. I don't know about you guys, but this is some amazing racing, I'd say. SC Mediocre, thank you for following the stream. I see you. You're follower number 1003, and thank you very much for being follower 1003. We appreciate everyone who comes here and follows the stream, and if you haven't followed already, do it right now. And I say right now, click that button. It's free. It's completely free to everybody. As Taylor gets a time penalty now, that's the first penalty of the race, so that puts him on equal footing with Joe, Ritzy, and it gives him he still has an advantage over Boss Cookie, but a disadvantage compared to Goody Doo. Meanwhile, Hey Katra seems to be catching Joe ever so slightly, and so keep in mind she doesn't have any penalties, so Katra could potentially steal 5th here if Joe doesn't get a move on, and we'll be monitoring that situation as it progresses. Boja's still pretty close behind Katra as Meanford tries to move down the inside of Deer Hunter into turn 4. Hold on a minute. This looks quite a lot like Taylor and Joe. And again, Deer Hunter not quite able to stick it on the inside. And Meanford getting it done for P8. Not bad at all from the Mercedes driver. His next target is going to be Boj. We'll see how that progresses in the next lap or so. F1, thank you for following the stream. Thank you very much, good sir. Follower number 1004. I'm glad you heeded my advice and hit the follow button immediately. Meadford could be up the inside of OJ as soon as this very corner. He's going to try it. No, not quite. He's looking, but he's not going to get it done. Could be into turn 4 just like on Deer Hunter. He's got the rev limiter glitch, so let's not right on board with that. Into turn 4 now. Is he going to get it done? No, he's going to look again just slightly, but he's not going to be close enough. And Unknown Youth's out. Unknown Youth, hold on. He's out of the race, it looks like. And ooh, he's beached it in turn 7, it looks like. Turn 8. And that appears to have been an oversteer episode of some sort. So Unknown Youth, our second casualty of today's race. Emerald Victor currently running 15th, just behind his teammate FinFan. And Ritzy Raccoon still right on the back of Bosco. He's actually caught him just a little bit in these last couple of laps, so we'll see if we still have a battle on our hands here for second place. Of course, Ritzy's still technically ahead on the timing sheet because of his fewer penalties, but that might not last. He should be getting ahead, he should be thinking about getting ahead of the racing point anyway, just for that extra insurance in case he gets another penalty. Ritzy really, really close right now. But ooh, we got quite the battle developing here. Everyone behind Katra seems to be very close together right now. Katra, Boj, Meanfern, Deer Hunter, they've all been catching each other. And this could make for a very interesting battle indeed for 6th place. So I was wrong. Katra is not catching Joe. Joe is pulling away, and it looks like he'll be securing 5th place after all. Boj really close to Katra now. Boj going around the outside. Ooh, on the second straight. That was some close stuff from Boj. Glad we caught it just in time. Katra might just fall down the order now. Meadfern is right on her tail and in a faster car. And on newer, fresher tires. Or newer, softer tires, rather. Again, we're not going to ride on board with him for now because he has the rev limiter glitch. Meanfern really right on the back of Katra, reeling her in. could see the difference in grip in turn 6. Ooh, big tank slapper for Katra out of turn 6. Not looking good right now. Could be move lining up on the pit straight. Boja gets a time penalty for multiple warnings. That's his first of the race, I believe. Yes, it is. So everyone from 3rd down to 8th is on equal footing right now in terms of penalties. With 10 laps to go in this race. Deer Hunter's still near Meanford, and he's pretty close to the Mercedes right now, so Meanford can't just be looking ahead of him. He's got to be looking behind him a little bit as well. It could become a pass or B-pass situation, but for right now, I don't think it is. Katra still sticking close to Boja. Oh, Katra goes a bit deep in the turn number 4, and Meanford almost runs into the back of her from that angle. Or maybe it's Meanford going a bit deep and making the mistakes. Yeah, it looks like Meanford's a little bit wayward right now in the corners. And Deer Hunter getting that gap down ever so slightly. He's still right there. He's just standing there, menacingly. But that might change very, very soon here. It looks like the scoreboard is resetting itself for some reason. We'll take a look at that in a second. And BRL and Neymar are currently very close to Ardell. They're fighting over the last points paying position. Neymar has no penalties. Ardell has some. So this is a bit of a slanted battle, and they're currently lapping some traffic as well. Emerald, Victor, and Lewis fans like. Yeah, you can see Victor and Lewis are actually having a bit of their own battle right now, and Lewis gets an overtake down there. Neymar really chasing down the Renault right now, but he is on harder tires and older tires, so he is at a bit of a disadvantage. Up and down the pit straight. Nothing into turn 1 this time. I think Neymar tried to move last lap, but it didn't quite go to plan. Neymar is probably close enough for a move here into turn number 3. They're both low on ARS, so that's not really a factor. Neymar could be trying one down the outside. Ardell covers the inside. Neymar alongside through turn 3. Not quite going to work out, though. Could try again into turn 4. He's more than close enough now. He's more than close enough. Could be reeling him in. Ardell again tries to cover the inside, moves back to the outside. Neymar goes down the inside into turn 4. Big lock up, contact. Ooh, Ardell almost gets shoved off the track there, but he stays on. And Neymar has ahead, but that was not an entirely clean overtake. The stewards might be having a look at that, and sure enough, Ardell's going back up the inside. No, that's a very audacious spot to overtake. And oh, there's contact, and Ardell's around. Yeah, Ardell, that, if you're going to try and counterattack, don't do it like that. That was just not a good place for it at all. Wow. Well. That has really bitten Ardell in the butt, and that's going to bite Ed Tarogna in the butt a little bit as well, because he rejoined the track right in front of him. And that might be that might be a subject of Stewart's inquiry as well. But Neymar seems to have sealed the last points paying position for right now. And he could move up even higher since his teammate Deer Hunter has penalties, so he doesn't have to necessarily overtake him, just to catch up a little bit more. Meanwhile, further up front, it is still status quo. Goodadoo followed by Cookie, Ritzy, Taylor, Joe, Boche, Katra, Meanford, and Deer Hunter. But many of those names are currently very close together still. Boche, Katra, Meanford, and Deer Hunter, very close together. Nose to tail at the moment. Boss Cookie gets another penalty, though. That's up to 9 seconds now, so he's not only going to lose second to Ritzy, but also lose third to Taylor as it stands right now. Racing Point could get knocked off the podium entirely here. And that would be really bad news for Cookie, whose championship bid is already a little bit teetering on the edge right now after Canada. More with Deer Hunter. Deer Hunter goes wide a bit. Ardell gets another time penalty. He's really been racking him up for a while now. And he's up to 18 seconds. So that's going to lose him 2 positions at least to Mitchie and FinFan, if not more. Meanwhile, Deer Hunter still chasing down Meanfern. Meanfern seems to be making some mistakes right now. Katra is staying ahead despite being in a slower car and on harder tires. So I think Meanfern not enjoying the track or the tires or the car or something. Not enjoying it right now. Of course, the rev limiter has nothing to do with it. He's not actually banging up against the rev limiter. That's not what he hears. It's just a glitch in spectator mode that Codemaster still has not fixed. But Deer Hunter really on the prowl right now, and Meanford can't really afford to make that many mistakes because Deer Hunter is right there. He is poised to overtake. He is closer than he's been in a while now, down to 3/10 or less. But he is track extending quite a bit to make that happen, so good to say he's not in quite as strong a position as it looks like on track. Deer Hunter not going to be close enough in the turn 1. Maybe turn 3, though. Still not going to be anything into turn 3. He has a look. Deer Hunter has a look, but nothing comes of it. Meanwhile, the gap between Ritzy and Boss Cookie seems to be expanding a little bit. Maybe because Boss Cookie has gotten the hurry up from his team owner or somewhere else, or maybe even himself. And he's going to be trying to open up the gap now, try and cancel out the effects of those penalties that he has right now. And maybe he's gambling that Ritzy will push to pursue and get some penalties himself. We'll just have to see how that pans out. With 5 laps left to go now in this race. And Meanford's now right on the edge of DRS with Katra, so he is struggling. He is really not happy right now, and it's showing. He's got the freshest and softest tires out of anybody in his current group, but that doesn't seem to count for much at the moment because there's just something wrong in that car. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's some wing damage that we can't fully see. Maybe there's something else going on. Maybe his setup isn't doing very well on these medium tires. Who knows? But Deer Hunter's trying a move now on the outside into turn 3. Oh, he's missing an end plate, of course. That would explain it. Meanford must have had an end plate shirt off when he tried to overtake Katra and went deep. I'm surprised I didn't see that before, but Meanford is missing an end plate, and that means less speed through the corners, which means Deer Hunter goes right up ahead, and he takes 8th place off of the Mercedes. Keep in mind, Meanford still has the potential to gain some more positions here off of penalties. He's currently poised to leapfrog Katra and Deer Hunter, and possibly Bojay as well, because all of them have penalties. But the hard part's going to be staying within that 3-second range that he has to them right now. That's going to be a tall order considering the current state of his car. So the closest battle we have on track right now seems to be actually Taylor and Ritzy. Hold on a minute. As Cookie has opened up the gap to Ritzy, Taylor closed it down. Taylor might be hungry for P2 here. And it's showing he's really pushing it right now, and he's on fresher tires, 4-lap fresher tires. It's going to make a difference at this stage in the game. Not close enough for a move by any means, but he's closer than usual, and he's in DRS range now, which is pretty new. Just 3 laps left. Taylor is going to have to push really hard and be pretty aggressive to overcome the challenge of his teammate in front of him. But it is important that Taylor tries because he's currently 18 points behind Ritzy in the championship. As we approach the halfway point of the season, he can't really afford to have that open up much more. Otherwise, he's just going to be on the back foot for the entire rest of Season 6. He's closing the gap a little bit. He's gained about 0.2 this time around. But he's still not anywhere close enough for a move. Now we see 6th place changing hands. Bojay and Katra are really shuffling it up right now. Katra's on the offensive into turn number 4 now. On the inside. Is it going to work out? No. She goes a bit deep and pushes Bojay wide. No contact though. Good avoidance from Vojay. Katra really harrying the racing point now. Ooh, bit of oversteer for Katra out of turn 7, just a tiny hint of it, but that's going to be enough for Vojay to scamper away ever so slightly. Nothing's going to come into turn number 1, I can tell you that much. Maybe turn 3, if Katra gets a good exit. Meanwhile, for the back, BRL Neymar, who seems to have pitted for fresh tires. I don't know when, but he has. Actually, Meadford as well, so a couple people now making extra stops. I'm not entirely sure why, maybe it's just tire age. Meadford, of course, made it for a wing change. But yeah, Meadford and Neymar are going to be on the charge now right at the end. Both of them could potentially set the fastest lap of the race. Neymar getting past Ed Taranya for 9th place. And Meadford getting a penalty. That's his first penalty of the race, and that's going to put him... That's going to lose him his advantage now to most of the cars around him. So he will no longer gain an advantage on Deer Hunter, Katra, Vojay, Joe, and Taylor, and the rest of them because of that penalty, because of that lack of penalties. He has that 1 3-second gap now, and that's going to be pretty significant. Zach1294 is in chat. Thank you very much for following, and hi to you as well. Sorry I missed that a minute ago. This race is quite engrossing. We've got a couple of things going on up and down the field right now. For one, the battle for 3rd place, or really a net 2nd place, is far from over. Taylor trying to chase down his teammate Ritzy Raccoon right now. Only 4 tenths behind. And it's looking like anyone's guess right now is to a win as on the final lap of the race. But no, Ritzy got a really good first sector in, and I think he's going to seal the deal here. Oh, but he has another penalty. I missed that. He has another penalty. He's got another 3-second penalty now, so he's up to 6 seconds. And that's going to make the difference. Taylor's going to get the position. Meadford says the fastest lap as I thought he might, but he's going to have to gain 1 more position to make that count as the fastest lap, because you have to be in the top 10, of course, for it to be counted with the extra bonus point. But I'm guessing he's going to get that on Ed Taranya because of penalties. Zach saying, guess who's my favorite driver? I'm going to say Boss Cookie. Wild guess. Very wild guess, actually. ARS Gududu wins the Austrian Grand Prix. Meanwhile, we didn't see much of this guy, especially in the second half of the race. He was just so dominant, I gotta say. Really well done from him winning from pole. I think that's... No, it's not quite a Grand Slam, because during the pit stops he didn't lead every lap. But Taylor second, Ritzy third, Boss Cookie fourth. Great performances from all of those guys. Oh, Zach saying Lewis Hamilton. Oh, you're talking about real life, not in this tier. Okay. I get it now. I get it. Joe rounds out the top 5. Katra 6th, just edging out Vojay for 7th. Deer Hunter actually took 7th on penalties. Vojay down to 8th, but still a solid performance as a reserve for Racing Point. Neymar taking 9th, Meadford in 10th. And he sets another fastest lap, so he'll actually have that count towards his points. Ed Taranya 11th, just missing out. Same with his teammate Mitchie. Both of them started just outside the points, finishing just outside the points. Unfortunate for them. Ardell 13th. He could have had so much more, but that mistake when he was battling with Neymar really cost him. And then FinFan 13th. And that is the end of the race, folks. Driver of the day is Boss Cookie. I would definitely agree with that. From 15th up to not bad at all. That qualifying performance was terrible. He has made up and redeemed himself without doubt. Another new follower rolling in today. Egaktakia. I have no idea how to pronounce your name, but either way, thank you so much for following the stream, tuning in at the end here. Your follower number 1006 on the BRL Twitch, and we did it, guys. We did it today. I believe it was during Q3. We've done it. We've reached 1,000 followers on the Twitch channel, and thank you so much. Thank you to every single one of you who has followed so far, because you have contributed to making this happen, just by watching, just by tuning in, by following, or by showing it to your friends if you've done that. And I really appreciate the support. I'm sure everyone here appreciates it a huge amount, especially the commentators. Of course, I'm the only commentator. We've a huge lineup of broadcasters here at BRL. And here is your finishing order. As I said, here's your top 10. Meadford setting the fastest lap right at the end. And behind Ardell, who I mentioned, Lewis Fan on his debut, 15th place, gaining 4 spots during the course of the race. Not too bad at all. Emerald Victor 16th, Stenner 17th, Unknown Ute 18th, and Skeppy 19th. Ute and Skeppy, unfortunately, crashing out early. Stenner having some issues on him, apparently, as he had left the race quite early. Ardell saying my tires were 87 and did it die. Yeah, your tires must be screaming at the end of that, Ardell. You hit it pretty early off the softs. Anyway, we're gonna get 3 in here now for podium interviews, so don't go anywhere. We've still got that to look forward to. Our top, of course, be Goodadoo. Actually, no, Goodadoo has a mic, so we won't be inviting him, but we'll still get the bulls in here. Taylor and Ritzy, the big rivalry this year in realistic tier. All right, we got the Ritz in here. Tick your box, please, while we wait for your teammate, if I can English. Excellent. And Taylor's here as well. Goodadoo will, of course, not be joining us because of his mic situation. And, Katra's in here as well. Why? Hold on a minute. No, she left. She left on her own. It's fine. Still P6, not a bad performance from Katra. But you two. Wow, you guys have had quite the rivalry going this season, and again, you did not fail to please us today. Third place was... Who's this? Whoa, 88, please leave. This is a podium party. You did not finish on the podium last I checked. Alright, as I was saying, before I was... Yeah, I will. As I was saying, before I was so rudely interrupted. So, Taylor, third place. I saw you had that incident early on. We'll start with qualifying. 8th place, you were certainly out of position at the start. What happened during Q3? Oh shit, the penalties are still throwing me off.
No,
oh my gosh, yeah. No, you finished third, Ritzy. Don't pretend that now.
Oh, darn.
Alright, we'll start with Ritzy then. Yeah, I'm sorry about that, but front row starts. We won't talk about your qualifying. It was naturally pretty good. But during the race, we saw you were fighting with Goodadoo a lot at the start, but you couldn't quite match his pace in the long run. What do you think was the difference in making you not quite as fast today?
Goodadoo is absolutely had an amazing drive. Like, man's pretty much did what Mercedes should have been doing from the beginning, just domination. I feel like I was on pace for him in the race. His qualifying was like 2/10. I just got a bit distracted, and then I lost time. And then I got a 5 second for slightly, I believe it was very, very slight contact, not just being near him. That got me a 5 second. So, yeah.
Right, I saw that under the safety car. Do you think that had that 5 second penalty not come up, that you might have had more of a chance at winning?
Well, I don't think I would have won. Goodadoo just absolutely drove away in the second stint. We came out I came out 5 seconds behind him, and then he just pulled that gap to like 9 or 10 seconds. Then in the later part of the second stint or third stint, I don't know what stint, I had to battle Cookie. It was very fun, very good battle. Yeah, no, I don't think I could have challenged Goodadoo. This was his race today.
Yeah, he was pretty nuts. But of course, you are still the championship leader with now 124 points to your name. So, heading into next week, Silverstone, how do you think you'll do?
If you can ask that question after I actually practice, then I'll tell you.
Okay, fine. Fair enough. Okay. So we'll go to Taylor then. P2. And the question I was asking earlier, of course, 8th place in qualifying, out of position certainly for you, who's had quite a standard of excellence in that regard. But what happened during Q3?
I went on at 4 minutes just because I knew. I already knew. I was going to bottle a lap, which I did end up bottling the first one at turn 1. I cut it. Figured I had enough fuel for a second lap. But that lap was going relatively well until we got to sector 2. Like right at the sector 2 split. Went a bit wide and followed the lap, and then my last lap I had to do lean and regular basically the whole lap. Just even get a lap in, so yeah, out of position automatically, and then turn 1, not fun. Got hit in the rear, hit in Ardell. And then turn 2, I guess, I don't know what happened. Turn 3, I guess.
Yeah, understandable. And considering your pace today, you had a great charge through the field after that troubles on the first lap. Do you think you could have won?
It's kind of like what Richie said. Gudu drove away. I mean, we came into this week. Richie said he wasn't gonna make it. We were like, all right, we're not using our switch this week. Like, we weren't gonna move the Alpha drivers up because we knew this is a power track. It's just something that the Red Bull lacks. So, I mean, we're happy with the 2-3. I mean, the win definitely could have been possible, but yeah, it would have been a small chance.
Yeah, I suppose so. Austria is pretty favorable to the Red Bull in real life, but of course these are not perfectly recreated cars. And with your performance today, you've whittled the gap down slightly for the championship lead, down to 16 points. Well, first of all, how do you think your championship's going right now, and do you think the gap will close down further at Silverstone?
Honestly, the gap's pretty smaller. I've choked Spain and I choked Baku. Hopefully it'll close at Britain. Don't know pace yet. We'll see. Yeah, all I can say.
Yeah, you guys are right. It is pretty early on to be talking about next week, but all of you should definitely tune in next week, same time, Thursdays at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time for the British Grand Prix, another great track. And tune in also in about half an hour for the Formula 2 tier that'll provide plenty of good action as well. A couple of guys from this tier are still in it. Neymar was in it up until last week. Deer Hunter's in it as well, same with Taylor. So should be an excellent one. You two are dismissed. Thank you very much for coming in.
Yeah, that was a hell of a way to celebrate a birthday, though. Another podium.
Oh yeah, it is your birthday today, isn't it? Well, now everyone on stream knows. Mwahaha.
I haven't told many people, and he's like, oh, you know what, might as well tell to the viewers.
All right. Well, again, thank you to everyone who tuned in. Thank you. We've reached 1,000 followers on the Twitch today, so that is huge. Thank you to everybody who has contributed to that. And hopefully we should get, what do you guys think? 1,500 followers by the end of the season? By the end of the year, maybe?
Nah, easy 3,000. I don't know, Shana.
Yeah, I'd say 1,500 by the end of 2021, maybe. We got 8 months to make it happen. We should make it happen.
10,000?
All right. Maybe someday. All right. See you guys, and see you all in chat in about half an hour, hopefully. Again, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Pacific, and quick maths, 3 a.m. British time. So Formula 2, not quite as good attendance as Realistic, but still great racing. So hope you'll join me for that.